Hi everyone, thanks for scanning the QR code. Let me give you a quick walkthrough of my paper, LOSVER, Line Level Modifiability, Signal Guided Vulnerability, Detection and Classification. So my research focuses on function level vulnerability detection. Basically, we give a function to an AI model. Here we used pre-trained language models as they have shown the best performance, and ask it to predict whether that function is vulnerable or not. But here's the problem. Most existing approaches feed the entire function to the model as is. They don't tell the model which lines might have caused the vulnerability. So what if we tell the model which lines are suspicious and let it focus on those lines during fine-tuning and prediction? Would that help? That's the main idea behind LOSVER. So you're probably wondering, how do we even know which lines are suspicious? Well, for vulnerable functions, we looked at the patch commits, the commits that fixed them, and identified the lines that were modified. We assumed these modified lines were the ones responsible for the vulnerability. We collected this data and then applied some filtering to clean it up. So now we have our training data, a bunch of functions, and for each one, we know exactly which lines were modified. We use this data to fine-tune our first component, which we call the modifiable line localizer. Its job is to predict which lines in any given function are likely to be modified. Now, when we feed it a new function, this localizer can point out the modifiable lines, the ones most likely related to a potential vulnerability. Okay, so for our main goal, predicting if the whole function is vulnerable, we fine-tune our second component, the weighted vulnerability detector. And here's the key part. We force this detector to pay way more attention to those predicted modifiable lines. In our paper, we applied a 5x weight to them when making the final decision. This weighting forces the PLM to focus on these high-risk areas during both training and prediction. And the results? It worked! We saw performance boosts across 3 different pre-trained language models, for both vulnerability detection and classification. We also confirmed that as our first stage, the line prediction, which is part of a field called fault localization, gets better, our whole LOSVER approach will naturally get even better too. So, in conclusion, LOSVER validated that highlighting important code regions is effective. We think this idea isn't just for vulnerability analysis. It can be extended to many other software engineering tasks where focusing on specific lines is helpful. Thanks for listening, and if you're curious about a more detailed explanation of the modifiable line localizer and the weighted vulnerability detector, please check out the video comments.